Yo, we almost had to put a flag on the play. What? Hey, everybody, welcome back out to the National Players Club Garage Pod. This is part 3 of a way too many parted season. And we're only in week 1.
It's going to get longer.
Sitting here with Aaron Kilgore, the East Coast Meat Puppets. Right?
Kevin Riley.
Yeah, Kevin Riley of the Emerald City Lanterns. No, I was actually I almost called him Two Pump Chump. Devin Kilgore.
Was the rings of the thing that
there was another hand here.
He's only got 2.
Devin Kilgore of DK Comics. Trudy now Davis, if she'll ever change her name. Show me the CDs and myself, Clint Davis of Total Chaos.
Hey, it happened on Facebook.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Hey, we're gonna jump in. I know we've kept you guys for already 2 segments. We're gonna try and blast through this one. There's a lot to do. We're gonna try and go as fast as we can with this last wrap up, and then we're actually gonna do another 2-part segment that's gonna probably be aired on Saturday. That's gonna cover the upcoming games and more kind of like a sit-em stardom / injury report that pertains to our league in particular. So we know you listen to the podcast, but this is us with our love and our.
We're trying to help you.
It's all about you.
We love you.
Let me help you. Help me help you. All right, hey, let's just jump right into it so we're running out of time. Recapping last week, we're starting off, and I'm not doing it in particular order other than the fact that it came off my screen this way. East Coast Meat Puppets, that's me, went down at 112 to 115 to the Naughty Gnomes, the Super Bowl returning team.
The Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills of our particular fantasy. Now she's in the North, and she is still, not for nothing, she's still a devastating team, and she was devastating enough with a quarterback that actually put up only 15 points. Now, granted,
17.
I had Poop Boy went out in the third quarter, so I lost by 2 points, which I should have taken over because my bench crushed it. But that said, Matt Ryan, my 8th round quarterback, picked up 31 points, threw for 3, ran for another, which got my 6. The other 3 were for 4, so I like that. I had 106 on my bench, which I basically split 3 ways, 25 apiece between Cutler, Ridley, and Wayne. So look out, they're coming again this week. Erica started off the game with Pierre Garçon at 28 points. Crushed it before the half, before we even walked into it. I was like, really? I have to start this way? 28 points from an 88-yard touchdown.
Ridiculous.
But on the plus side, he went out before the half.
He did, and he's got issues, and we were going to address that here going into next week because he's still questionable, I believe, for next week. But they don't have, and the thing is, and what's funny is they don't have the people they like for him. Santana Moss was arguably their number 1. Still sitting in the waiver wire, which is why all you guys need to get your money in there because there are still hot players in there. Fat players.
P-H-O-T.
That are in there that are still available that you could basically build a team off of, based off of what I've seen out there. Back to Erica's team from last week. Like I said, Pierre Garçon, number 1 scoring player with 28 points. Michael Turner, which she didn't want to take. She's jaded as you were with Chris Johnson. Put her up 3 points.
I was jaded with Turner too. Don't feel bad.
Yeah. She had 58 on her bench. Put up 18 off of the Dolphins defense. Nothing really to lose there.
Yeah, at least Johnson hits double digits, so not very high.
Well, she now sits in first place in the North. No, she's not in first place North, and I sit in 5th. I'm best of the worst of everyone that lost. I'm best of the worst, point total.
So you're making up a new.
I'm in the middle.
Hey,
you're best of the worst in the North.
Yes.
Because
you're best of the worst in the South.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't want to steal your lightning there.
Exactly.
I'm last of the last.
Wait,
so.
I'm confused. Anyway,
we'll explain. Moving on to the second game, we've got the Two Pump Chumps, who is in first place in now the South,
actually
in the dirty South.
Dirty.
He started all the right players. I don't know if he started all the right players or he was forced into all the right players because his bench put up 58 points. Breeze did his 27. Smith put up 8. That was his low end. Demaryius Thomas put up 30, which actually helped my game, but not enough to actually win the game. Put up 30 points for him. Like I said, put up 58 off his bench. Pack defense 20, not a real one way or another. It was pack defense. They should have done what they did, but which is basically almost half of what his bench was, which leaves basically nothing on his bench. Gordo, who's actually sitting in 4th in the South,
Yep.
lost. Like I said, 160.
Third amount of points, by the way.
No, Gordo didn't lose.
Over the loop.
Gordo lost to.
No, Gordo won.
No, Gordo won.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. No, I'm sorry. To you. I'm sorry. I was reading the wrong one. Pardon. So it was you and
lost
it was you and yeah. And Andre Johnson, I criticized you for, put up 28 points. Mad props. Over under 20 points going into this week.
Who's that?
Your wide receiver. They put up 28. They shouldn't have.
Who are they playing this week?
Yeah, who they
Houston
playing?
has.
Actually, I have that down because they have him on the injured list.
Speaking of
While he's looking that up,
defense
Titus
went
Young
off.
put up 3 for him. That was his low end of it. 63 on his bench. AP was there with 21. Won't be there again. We'll be back in the starting lineup.
I'm going to go over.
Over.
Who are they playing?
Over 20 points this week. I'm taking the under.
Who?
I'm taking the under.
Andre
I'm taking
Johnson,
under.
wide receiver for the Houston Texans.
Well,
Under.
Under.
get a projection.
Under.
I'm taking the under.
Under.
Unless
I'm going over just because it's.
Hey, you gotta represent.
Yeah.
Moving on. Third game of last week. Annihilators versus Total Chaos. Annihilators. Nice comeback, though. You got to give her props.
You know what? Going into that game,
50 points.
It was 49 points ahead, and I thought, and I even put in the top down there where you can chat back and forth and thing. I've said if these two come back from 50 points, ... And
Well,
brought it back within what 16 points.
it was 92 to 108. McFadden put up a respectable 24. They gave him the rock a lot. Her biggest problem, D'Angelo Williams, which is that 1-2 combination between him and
The other guy.
the other guy. The other guy is actually starting, but actually,
I think they're playing the Vikings next week, by the way. Houston.
well, D. Will basically got her -1 point, which basically was not only a hole, but less than a hole. Yeah. She left 64 on her bench, which really couldn't have saved her. Castle got her 16, which is her highest bench score. Didn't really help her. You, on the other hand, I criticized you, in addition to him, about basically stacking your team with Dallas's players. But I got to tell you, mad props to the Cowboys, mad props to Romo, mad props across the board for their defense, their running game, their O-line.
They looked
They're-
awesome.
They figured it out in the second half.
Here's something that I don't think a lot of people are really capitalizing on. You had a shutdown corner, but you had a rookie on the other side, and he did his job that day.
Yep.
And I was really impressed with that. Roma got 30 points. Now, Witten, he was there as
My only tight end too. So
well, I mean, he was there as basically
But,
a
Whitten will
he was
be
a
out
blocker.
there.
distraction.
he was a blocker.
He'd be out there with a broken leg and play. I mean,
He was there
that's
for
what he does as a gamer.
He was there for moral support.
Yeah,
Moral
leader.
support.
He was there for
He was there for falafel support.
falafels.
But he put up 3 points. On your bench, you had
Hey,
76.
3 points.
Ravens did put up
I'm gonna
27.
throw,
And I'm
throw
really
this out.
surprised you didn't start Ravens defense as high as Ravens are ranked. Who did you start as defense?
Houston.
Texans.
Well, you got 2 stellar defenses.
Yeah, I held one.
We'll talk trade.
Hey,
As soon as I get paid.
and I'm going to throw this out here, and as you know, and you guys know, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but Cowboys, NFC
Go figure.
East.
You're gonna call that?
I'm calling it. They're going to take the NFC East.
Changing them as they come.
Hey, with the way Michael Vick looks right now, the way you know what, I actually arguably see a
If
bout
Washington,
between the 2 bottom teams coming out of last year and Washington and Dallas via.
RG3.
or yeah,
Yeah, what I'm
But see,
saying,
that's
I'm saying
one thing I'm
the
watching.
Giants and the Eagles.
yeah.
I think
I'm not impressed with
Washington's
either
gonna-
one.
Washington's going to be the threat.
And the thing is, the
Washington,
Giants
is
last
gonna be
year
a threat.
limped into the Super Bowl at a 9-7
I think Washington's going
Over
to.
us. It should have been us. I'm just saying. But we screwed the pooch on game 2.
But
So-
I'm telling you, Cowboys out of the NFC East. They're going to win the NFC East, but they still have to prove themselves in the playoffs.
I
That's
think
the thing.
Washington's going to
We
upset a
got
lot
to see
of
Romo
teams
do
this
what
year.
Romo's
Yeah.
been doing in game 1. See him do that in the postseason.
He's got-
If everyone stays healthy, he's got the weapons. The defense has stepped up. They've got a running game right now. And as long as that rookie corner can keep contained, so that
Well, he holds
secondary,
his end of
they're
the
actually
field.
looking decent. Moving on, game 4, we've got the Barflies going up against DK Comics. Barflies won 113 to 97. Nice comeback by you as well on Monday night. Got within 5. For some reason, you had some points dropped down by Tuesday morning. I haven't even looked into it yet. Wouldn't have made the difference, but it is something.
Yeah,
I think
minus
they're
2 on
still
his
working
defense. So I mean, the Bills screwed the pooch for you.
You know, hey, not for nothing. John started Manning, and Manning put up 25 points.
You know, Manning, like, thoroughly, I mean, going into Denver, they tried to put together a team around him, and when he left the Colts and the Colts just flopped the way they did, my biggest thing was one man doesn't make a team. He steps into, evidently I was wrong because he steps into Denver, and they owned that field. He was on the field for 36 seconds in the third quarter. 36 seconds, all the way down the field for a score.
And I'll tell you this.
I see what you're saying, but I want to jump back with the fact that you realize that Denver was playing New England to go toward the Super Bowl via somebody that can't throw the ball, Tim Tebow. So they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad of a team. They weren't that jacked up walking into it. So we walked into, I think, a better situation, especially the way the Colts were dismantled, especially via running back and wide receivers that haven't got a decent quarterback. But I think just out of the gate, proved himself. He's still Manning. And I think as everyone settles in, I think they're going to get a lot more dangerous down the road.
And I'll tell you this: I was hanging out with Solomon Page. And
I knew he was going to throw that in there.
I'm name
dropping names.
We were watching some football.
Dropping something.
But and they agreed with me. The best coaching job in the NFL is the offensive coordinator for whoever team Peyton Manning's playing for. So
yeah, well,
it's the easiest job.
It's Peyton Manning.
It's Peyton Manning.
I'll wrap that up. I know we only got a couple minutes left this segment. We'll wrap up these in a second. Like I said, that was Manning. His kicker got garbage in 2. His bench was 71. Alshon Jeffries put up 17. Yeah, whatever. He should have put him in the first place. On the flip side of that, Ray Rice did what he was supposed to do. He was who he thought he was.
For 23 points.
Bills defense. On the flip side, -2, my brother. There's your bomb. There's one of your bombs of the week. If you gave them any points, -2.
That's an F-bomb of the week, right?
82 points off your bench. Steve Johnson. You need to get him in your starting lineup. Looks good. A little banged up, but he still looks like he's going to be a starter going forward, especially what their situation is. I think we got about.
I know we got time. Keep going.
Let's roll. Two more. We got Gordomania against Show Me Those TDs. Gordomania in second place in the South pulled off a 125-95 victory over the 5th place. Show Me Those TDs. Jets defense was 25 points, but I mean they were stacked as a stellar defense. But that was his number 1 player on that team. You're basically looking at Wes Walker put up 4. How you won this game, I don't know. Bench only had 53 points. Thank God he didn't go there. Flacco was your bench scorer of 20 points. I like him moving forward. I think they've got some pieces in place.
But he also had Moss on his bench for 14 points. So keep an eye on Moss, Gordo.
Yeah, but 15th round pick.
Moss came
He's
out.
a situational
He grabbed
person.
3 catches with great yardage because was it 4?
Alex Smith is not going downfield, which is why now Mario Manningham has been dropped back into the player pool. Moss is only there because he's actually scored points. Alex Smith should be that slot receiver and actually score those points. Put up 10, to my knowledge.
Mark my words, Randy Moss is going to be a sleeper.
You know,
on certain days, but not on a regular basis. And you have to be able to pick those games.
He was going to Vernon Davis a lot, too. I mean, he
Calvin Johnson. I'm sorry. Calvin Johnson, 20 points for you. Cedric Benson.
Yeah, no, he's my F-bomb of the week.
But he saved me this week. On your bench, you had 55. Roethlisberger and Tammy basically split that for 15. On the last one, before we break, Bernie against Road Rash, 96 down to 107. Road Rash, there's your first one of the year. Brennan Marshall blew up, 29 points. Fred Jackson, 1. You got issues with him. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, I don't see that. We'll talk about that because he's got issues.
Spiller did up in Buffalo.
Hey, Griffin, 34 points. Vic, you didn't start looking at that. It was almost a flip. Bench on Byrne, 108. CJ Spiller, 29. And Lance Moore, 28. CJ Spiller is locked in your starting lineup for sure moving forward. Lance Moore, I think it's going to be a coin toss.
Stick around. We'll be right back with a little bit more to come. We've got a new segment we're going to try to throw out there. Hopefully you guys are going to start watching and keep up with this. Come back.
Deuces.